We we can hear you.
Okay, okay, thank you. So also I have shared my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen. Hello.
No, sir, we are not able to
Y-
see your
y-
screen.
Okay, okay,
We
okay.
can
Thank you.
see your
Thank you for.
screen now.
Now
Okay,
we are
so
able to see.
what I suggest, if any of you cannot see the screen, please you join again, because what happens sometimes it doesn't provide the access to the screen. Okay, so just if you are not eligible to see the screen, you just go back and again join the session. Okay.
Okay.
So I will be your trainer. Okay. So I have near about 12 years of experience with laboratory information management, and throughout this course, I will be your trainer. Okay. So today we just go with the demo. Okay, what you will be included in the whole session, and also I will give you a brief idea about the course and the content that is involved in the course. Also, I will be there for all the questions that are into your mind, and whenever I am explaining, you can also raise your questions there. Okay, wherever you find something difficult or you are not understanding anything. Okay. So I welcome all of you on behalf of Company Connect Consultancy. Okay, so this is end-to-end LIMS training. Okay, so laboratory information management, and the detail will be involved into this course. Okay, so let me understand your background. I think anyone here from pharma background? Anyone from pharma background?
Yes. Yes, I am from pharma background.
Okay, okay, fine. Anyone from biotech, IT, IT background? Okay, clinical trials? Yes. Okay, so if beyond this you are from any of the profession, you can share me. If you are beyond these professions, please. Yes. So why I'm asking this question? Because this course is designed to help all the type of professions whoever involved into the day-to-day activities related to the LIMS software. Okay. So I think many what happens many times the students are only from pharma background. So beyond that, if they are from some other background, how this course will help them, that I'm going to explain to them. Okay, if it is required. Otherwise, you will understand it better, because if you are from pharma background, you will understand it better. But if you have not seen like this software any time in your career, that they in that case also I can explain to you. Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay, so any questions that will be into your mind while we will go through this demo, you can ask me. Okay, so the first thing, how this demo will go, I will explain you the what is LIMS. Okay, the history of LIMS software. Okay, then the different contents into the LIMS. Okay, then how laboratory information management works. Okay, that will I will also explain to you. Then the guidelines for successful LIMS implementation. See, why LIMS implementation is important. This is one of the big job opportunity for all of the fields. Okay, because many of the laboratories which are working into manual mode, okay, they want to shift from manual to auto mode. Okay, in such scenario, it is required that the LIMS implementation knowledge will be a great benefit for a candidate. If he has the knowledge of LIMS implementation, he can grab that opportunity. Okay. Then LIMS workflow. Okay, how the workflow actually how the workflow happens into the software. Okay, that also I will explain. Then the different functionalities that are available with the software. Okay, then some advantages and disadvantages that are related to the software. Okay, then general awareness about the different modules that are available with the software. Then different environments. Okay, environment means the different scenario where a particular user is working. Okay, some will be engaged in developing the LIMS software. Okay, some will be engaged in working with the software like end user. Okay, then some will be involved into the validation of that particular software. Okay, so these are different environments for that particular software. Then comes the master data. Okay, what is master data and what is their its requirement, that I will explain you in detail. Okay, in further slides. And different LIMS roles. Okay, as like the hierarchy of the end user and also the management that is working with the LIMS software, that also I am going to explain. So basically this course is designed for it will take up to 1 month, okay, for completion. So all the sessions will we will take in the evening 9 to 10 p.m. Okay. So here what we include in the sessions, that also I am going to explain here. Okay. So let's go ahead. Do you have any questions here?
Do you have any, once you give the LIMS training, do you give any practical exposure for us?
Okay, see, here we consider one labware LIMS software. Okay, so it's not possible to share you the actual software or the actual login. Okay, because that is not feasible. Also, okay, while we are going through the course, like, and what we have designed into the course is we have designed it into like I have taken the screenshots of the different modules and also how we are going to work into that particular software. So I will explain slide by slide that when you enter into a particular module, how the functionalities will work, how you can utilize that knowledge, and how you can like from validation, software development life cycle to end user experience. All the things I will explain, but through the screenshots of the software. Not, you will not get a real exposure to that actual software. Okay, because that is not feasible or not possible also. Okay, but I will give you an
With that
assurity that
exposure,
you will be eligible when after completion of the course, you will be eligible to work on the software. And also, even though I am explaining with the labware LIM software, okay, you will be eligible for to work on other softwares also. Other softwares like many other softwares about LIMS are available into the market. Why it is possible? Because the modules are 90% same. Okay, you will find some differences. Okay, plus minus 5% differences you will find. That is because the design of the software. Okay, like whatever the requirements are there, whatever regulatory requirements are, according to that all the functionalities will be available with all the softwares. Okay, so it becomes easier for you to work into that particular software. Okay, is that clear?
yes, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So let's go ahead. Okay, see the history. So if you are aware about a laboratory, okay, anybody from you is like he has not worked into a laboratory, or he has not visited any laboratory, he is not understanding how the laboratory works. Anybody here? Okay, so basically you all understand what a laboratory is. Okay, so in the prior period, like in 1980s, there was all manual work going on into the laboratory. Okay, so people who are working, the end users, they use paper and pen. Okay, they do the calculations on their own. Okay, then they record them. They need to print the report. They record all the data on that paper, they take the printout, so like that the laboratory was working. Okay, but as the time grown, okay, as the inventions and new possibilities are grown, this was transferred to availability of some information management with that laboratory. Okay, so after this, they started using some calculators, okay, or some some instruments that will help that particular analyst or the end user to improve the process or to reduce the work time. Okay, so after that, the use of personal computer started. Okay, here it became a necessity for the industry that in minimal time they need maximum output from the laboratory. Okay, so that's how it started developing the information management system. Whatever the information that is generated into the laboratory, that is required to be preserved, recorded. Okay, and in that fashion it started developing into the computer softwares. Okay, and that is how LIMS evolved. Okay, and in future or in nowadays, like this is the future of the industry. Okay, in for any of the laboratory, now each and every laboratory is shifting from manual mode to auto mode. Okay, and the need to shift from manual mode to auto mode is information management software. Okay, so if you have the knowledge of the laboratory information management, you are a good asset for that industry who is willing to shift from manual mode to auto mode. Okay, so and how this works? It works with some projects. Okay, some IT industries, they take the project of some pharma industries, or say some clinical trial industry, or some hospitals, or some private labs. Okay, and they develop this particular software for that particular laboratory, they sell them. Okay, and here the role of that person who has the knowledge of software, okay, and also the end user experience, he is a good asset for that particular project. So this is how there is a big opportunity if you have the knowledge of the software. Okay, now what is LIMS? So basically it allows to effectively manage the samples and associate data. Okay, so basically laboratory means what? We are doing some analysis, we are performing some tests there with the sample, and we are generating the data, right? So this data that is generated, it is required to be preserved. Okay, it is required to be shared with some from one lab to another lab, or some one person to another person, like the manager or the reviewer, right? So this is how the data is required to be handled. So to make it easy, this particular software is utilized. Okay, also there is some accuracy will be there into the work. Okay, because in manual there are chances of human error. Okay, so the human error will be reduced by utilization of the software. Okay, it makes data sequencing runs easier. Okay, to store, track, and assess over time. Okay, suppose you have done one analysis 10 years back, and now you want the data about that particular analysis. Okay, so when suppose the lab is working into manual mode, how you will find out that data? You have to you have to search for that particular file. Okay, like if it is in manual mode, you have to search for that file. You will find that particular batch number, and then you will collect that particular data, and it will take time. But when you are using this particular LIMS software, it is a task of just a second. You just enter that particular batch number into the software, and the data that is related to that particular batch, that will be readily available, and that can be readily you can take a printout of that data, you can share that data. Okay, so many possibilities are there. Okay, so this software helps to evaluate and improve the operational efficiency. Okay, so this is what the role of the software is there. Okay, you have any questions here?
नहीं मोबाइल तो किसी कीमत पे नहीं मिलेगा कोई सैमसंग ना बेहसन कोई नहीं मैं कोई
So you all now have a idea about the software. Okay, so let's go ahead. So this is
what
the
is the
content of that particular
flightless bird
software. Hello.
what is the flightless bird which what
Uh,
is the flightless
I request you all, please put your mic off. Okay, so LIMS content. So these are the different contents that are related to the software. So who are dealing with the particular software? See the customers. Okay, collection sites. Okay, the preservatives analysis method. These all I am going to explain you in our further lectures. Okay, what is the who are involved into the or who are related to the software? Who is going to work with the software? Who is going to be benefited from the software, that all the things will be explained. Okay, then the workflow, how actually the workflow happens into the software. See, the first thing, the plan. Okay, the planning of that particular analysis will happen. After this, the registration of the sample. Okay, the sample is required to be registered into the software. Then the training record or the job allocation, work allocation happens, like who is going to work with that particular software, or what type of credentials he is going to have. Okay, with that particular software, like for example, he is an analyst, he is an reviewer, or a second reviewer, or approver. So like that, the different the allocation will be there. Okay, and they will be provided the particular credentials with the software. Okay, then comes the inventory. Okay, inventory, you all understand inventory?
No, sir.
Yes. Okay. So basically, whatever the inventory that is involved into the laboratory, starting from the instruments, equipments, the glasswares, all the things, or the HPLC columns, okay, everything that is required into the laboratory, that is required to be controlled, okay, because the lab should have an idea, or the lab manager should have an idea how much cost is particularly involved into the laboratory. Okay, why this is required? Because like suppose they are planning some new project with the laboratory. Suppose pharmaceutical industry is planning to launch a new product. Okay, so there they have to calculate how much cost is involved into the analysis, and by utilizing this particular software, it becomes easier. Okay, if it is recorded, if each and every inventory is recorded into the software, it becomes easier to analyze that particular inventory. Suppose the HPLC columns. Let's take one example, the HPLC columns. Okay, like in the software, we have made each and every entry, whichever column you have received into the laboratory, and whichever you have destroyed. Okay, all the entries are there. So by just one click, okay, one can understand how much inventory currently available. Okay, and how much inventory is required to be we have to put, okay, to get the new project in line. Okay, so this is why the LIMS software is important. Okay, now comes the approval and rejection of the test. Okay, this is this is the QA role. Okay, quality assurance team will handle this part. Okay, the reviewers. Okay, then different checkpoints, the approvers. This is how the particular reports that are generated by the testing, that will be handled by the quality assurance team, and this activity is also going to be performed with the LIM software. Okay, then comes the external integration. That is what, like suppose we need to share that particular data with some another laboratory. Okay, or we need to share that particular data with the regulatory side. Okay, so that's where the LIMS software helps. Okay, so the all our work becomes easier with the software. Okay, now
Yes.
how the particular flow works. Okay, while working into the LIMS software, see the test order, then the sample registration. This all I'm going to explain into our further lectures. Okay, this will be explained to you in detail. Okay, the sample preparation, test allocation, and also I will show you with the use of the software with the help of the screenshots. Not, I will not be using actual software there. Okay, I will be using the screenshots that are available with me. There I will show you how these particular activities happen inside that particular software using the labware lim software. Okay, now the implementation is very very important about the LIMS software. Whenever it comes to implementation, there is some requirement, there is a guideline. Okay, how we can achieve a successful implementation of the LIMS software into a laboratory. So there is a flow, the starting from the software development, okay, which is IT part. Okay, the IT industry will take care about the software development, and after that it will be checked whether it is like utilizable or according to the user requirements, whoever is the user, end user, and the laboratory. Okay, according to their user requirements it will be developed, and then it will be checked for different tests, and also for different like in each environment. Okay, yeah, and finally into the production environment. Okay, when we are working finally with the production environment, if there are some new cases evolved, or you want to add some new test, or all the things I will explain you in our further lectures. Okay, you have any questions here about LIMS implementation?
Hi. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Are you going to explain the complete validation life cycle of LIMS, starting from
Yes, yes,
URS?
yes, that will be there. Yeah.
Then
Okay.
whatever you
So
complete,
that the whatever
whatever
syllabus is
you
there, I'm
think
going to
is
explain here. Okay, after one or two slides I will explain you what is involved into that particular course. Okay, the detailed course. Okay,
with whatever
Okay.
course you explain, whatever you tell, is
your voice is
you
not clear.
know with what? Are you able to hear me?
Hello.
Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yeah, but your voice is not clear. I'm not getting what you are asking.
Now, are you able to hear me?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
With whatever you explain in these classes or in course of the days we are interacting, will we be able to attend interviews and in the software side?
Interviews about what? Which role?
LIMS role in the LIMS.
Yes,
Suppose they
definitely.
ask training.
That is the purpose of the course. Yes, definitely. I will like the course. I will explain you the syllabus of the course. Okay, after this slide. So there you will find each and everything is involved into the particular course. And suppose like you are in implementation role, or you are into end user role, you are into stability management, you are into inventory management, whatever different modules are there inside the LIMS software, all I'm going to explain into further classes. Okay, and that will help you in your interviews, any kind of interview that is related to LIMS. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, sir.
Yes,
Myself,
yes,
Shrikant,
yes.
sir. I just want to know, sir, I'm coming across some vacancies in IT sector like the LIMS development. So, is this course
Okay.
related to that also? So,
See,
like they,
actually, see,
Mhm.
I will explain you. what is the requirement of that
Yes.
particular IT industry? That is important. Okay. In general, suppose the IT industry mainly 99% chances are there that they are into LIMS implementation. Okay, 99% chances. Why I'm saying this? Because they are the developer of the software, right? And they want to
Right.
implement their software into the laboratory. Okay, pharmaceutical industry or any other industry. Who is utilizing that? Who is going to
Right.
utilize that particular software, right? So they are
Right.
mostly involved into implementation. Okay, and they want some person. Suppose one person is there who is from pharma background. He has
Mhm.
worked into the laboratory for at least suppose for example 5 years, so he has ample knowledge about the laboratory or end user level, right? So
Right.
here when they are like they are developing that particular software, now the person who has the pharma's 5-year experience, he understand the end user requirements. Okay, he understand what the end user will require. Okay, so according to that the software development will be there. Okay, so they are like the IT industry, they will develop the software as per the user requirements. And the user requirements, who is going to like explain that user requirements to the IT persons? IT persons have no knowledge about the laboratory, right? They don't understand how that a particular laboratory works, what is their requirement, okay, what are regulatory requirements, or how they want the printouts from that their reports, how they change their allocation, work allocation from one analyst to another. This is not the knowledge of IT person. This knowledge is with the end user who has pharma experience. Got my point? So that including that knowledge, if that particular person has overall LIMS knowledge, okay, which is involved into the course, okay, so that will be a great benefit for that candidate to succeed with the interviews. Okay, is that
Okay, sir.
clear?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And these roles, day by day, these roles are increasing. Why? Because all the industries are shifting from manual mode to auto mode. And why they are shifting? Because that is also a regulatory requirement. Okay, because they want a smooth operation into their laboratory. Okay, that is the main purpose. They don't want like some auditor is visiting their lab and he is finding some he is getting some findings there, right? When like it is the lab is operating with the software, there will be minimization of that human errors, right? So if suppose for example all the instruments into the laboratory are integrated with the software, like starting from the weighing balance, okay, starting from weighing balance and also the logbooks. Okay, there are digital logbooks that are offered by the software. Okay, so there are no manual entries into the logbook also. So there is very means no chance of missing any logbook entry. What my point? Whenever the end user logins into the system, okay, suppose for example he wants to weigh a sample, end user wants to weigh a sample, he enters his credentials, login credentials into the software. Okay, um, the integrated balance he selects, okay, and then he weighs the sample, right? As and when he clicks on the to take the printout of that weighing balance, okay, so all the data will be recorded, including the time, the user, everything will be recorded into the software directly. Okay, so this is how the like the error, human error will be like it will be like zero. There will be no human error. Got my point? So that's why all the industries are shifting from manual mode to auto mode. The big industries they have already shifted, but the small industries or new laboratories, there is a big scope for LIMS implementation. Okay.
Yes.
So, like the information management, it will be good. When it will be good, all the data that is generated into the laboratory, if it is ensuring all the data, then it is a good information management, right? It ensures the confidentiality and privacy of the patient information. This is related to clinical trials. Okay, clinical trial laboratories, there the data is confidential, right? Here there should be no leak of that particular patient information. So this is how this functionality is provided by the software. Okay, if it is in manual mode, there are chances of leak of the information, right? If that particular software is incorporating all the laboratory business processes, okay, all the processes that are involved into the day-to-day activities of the laboratory, okay, if it is involved inside that particular software, then it becomes easier to manage all the information that is related to the laboratory. Okay, also what is important, the accessibility, the reports, the data, all the information should be readily accessible, right? Suppose some audit is going on with that particular laboratory, and the auditor asks for some information related to one product. Okay, uh, if that data is available with the software, it is very easy, like you just enter that particular batch number into the software, the data will be readily available. You can take printout or you can share through mail or any other resources. Okay, so that becomes easier. Okay, so that's why accessibility is important, right? Also the accuracy, like suppose different instruments are integrated with the software, starting from HPLC to weighing balance. Okay, and we consider like the accuracy means whatever, suppose 1 mg weight it was shown on the weighing balance, the same should be incorporated into the software, right? There should be no change, or also 1 mg should not be shown into some different decimal, right? So that is how the integration will be there. So and that accuracy is required inside that software. Okay, then it will be a good information management. Okay, then the different timelines. Okay, then the security of the data. Okay, all these things are important. Also one more very important aspect is like the suppose you all understand the validation of the different instrument equipments. Okay, validation of the different products, their batches, right? Then the calibration of the instrument. So all the data will be available with the software, and there will be notifications about suppose one HPLC system is there, and it's like calibration is due next week. Okay, so it will the software will automatically generate a message, okay, or a notification to the person who is responsible for that calibration of that particular HPLC system. Okay, so this is how it smoothens all the activities that are involved into the laboratory, and this is how the information is managed inside the software. Okay, then the sample tracking and sample workflow. Okay, not only in the clinical but all type of laboratories, the sample tracking is important. Okay, sample tracking means at what stage that particular sample is. Okay, starting from sample registration to the report generation. Okay, at what stage that particular sample is, and this all data will be available, readily available with the software. Okay, then see the workflow. Okay, the material workflow, like sample registration, then the workflow of that particular sample, then the test configuration, result input, result validation, report generation. All these activities I'm going to explain into further lectures. Okay, how this workflow happens, that also to the session. Okay, then see, this is the basic workflow. Okay, so here you can see starting from reception, preparation, work allocation, testing, validation, approval, reporting, how the data is archived, okay, that is generated, or if retest is required for some samples, all these things are involved, and this all is controlled by the software. That also I'm going to explain you in detail. Okay, then different functionalities. Okay, what are the different functionalities that are related to LIMS? Like the reception, okay, and the login of the sample. Okay, whenever there is some sample generated into the like that industry, that is required to be received by the laboratory, and also it is required to be logged into the software. Okay. Then comes the assignment, scheduling, and tracking. Okay. Like the manager, he will assign that particular sample to some end user or the analyst to analyze that particularly. Okay. Then scheduling, it will be scheduled. Okay. The tracking of the sample, all the things will be, these are the functionalities that are related to the sample. Okay. Then comes the processing, then quality control associated with the sample, and the inventory that is related to the particularly that laboratory. Okay. The storage of data associated with the sample analysis, whatever data is generated with that particular sample, the storage, handling, okay, of that data, and also the accuracy and privacy of the data, that is the functionality of the LIMS. Okay. Then comes the inspection, approval, compilation of the sample data. Okay. And reporting also for further analysis. Okay. If it is required as a reference for further analysis, that is also provided by this functionality, is also provided with the software. Okay. Okay, here some other functionalities are explained. See, sample management, quality assurance, reports, certificates, documentation. So this all will be involved into the detailed course. Okay, I will explain each and every aspect that is related with the or the different functionalities that are provided by the LIMS software, that also will be included into the sessions. Okay. Now some advantages. Okay, this is very basic. If you are already working with the laboratory, you understand this, right? So why it is why it is important for the laboratory? It provides very fast report access and queries, right? Whenever you put some query there, it will generate the result, okay, instantly. Then paperwork will be reduced. Okay, data quality will be improved. So you all understand this, right? So that also will be involved into the course. Then some what are the disadvantages of the LIMS? Like training will be required. This we can't say this as a disadvantage, because when you are shifting from manual mode to auto mode, you are making a big change into the laboratory, right? So training will be required there, and training is mandatory. Without training, you cannot allow any end user to work on a particular software or also any instrument equipment, right? Then there will be some time gap, like to adapt to the new system, there will be time required. Okay. So suppose you implemented LIMS software into a laboratory. So for a smooth operation of that laboratory, it will take some time. Okay. Because all the working persons, they have to understand how actually the software is responding, how they are generating the different test and different reports. So to get that flow, it will take some time. Okay. Then the cost, purchase, and maintenance are the most expensive part of the computerized system. Okay. See, whenever we are shifting from manual mode to auto mode, cost will be involved, right? The cost will be high, and this will be calculated prior to the implementation. Why? Because suppose one laboratory is working for 24 hours. Okay. So here, if it is allowing, the software is allowing to reduce the work time. Okay, so that is a benefit for that laboratory. But you consider one small laboratory where the laboratory in manual mode, it is working only for 5 hours in a day. Okay, and there the software is implemented. Now in such case, it will be a huge cost for that laboratory, right? Because already the work is less in that laboratory, right? So it will be a high cost for that particular laboratory. So this is how the cost is calculated, whether it is benefiting that particular laboratory or not. That is calculated before starting the project. Okay. So this is like implementation is taken as a project. Okay. Then the physical restrictions are there. Why physical restrictions? Because suppose a printer is not working, okay, or it is not showing integration with the particular software. Now you cannot do anything, right? You cannot do anything. You have to call the IT person. When the IT person solve the issue, then only you can work with the particular software. Okay, or you can go ahead with your work, because that's how there are some physical restrictions. You cannot do anything if the system is not working. Okay, need for backup, this is very important. Okay, this is very important. Backup with the system, like all the computers, all the systems, all the equipments, whatever data is generated in day to day activities, that is required to be backed up. Okay, and that data which is backed up is required to be stored in such a way that it should not be hampered in the like in future also, that should be available. Okay, loss of data due to damaged disk or system crash cannot be tolerated. See, this is very important. That's why data backup should be taken care. Like it should be taken care. Like there should be no damage. Okay, or the leak of the data is also required to be prohibited. Okay. Now, as I have said, there are some environments. Okay, there are some environments of LIMS. What are these environments? Okay, actually, LIMS is under category 4 of GAM5. All you all understand GAM5? Yes, anyone?
No, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, GAMP, what is GAMP? It is good automated manufacturing practices. Okay, this is required for whenever you are working with some software or some computer thing. There you have to follow the GAMP guideline. Okay, so and according to that only, LIMS is coming under category 4. Okay, you remember this? This is the main question for any interview you are going to face for LIMS. Okay, this is the main question, which category, under which category LIMS software comes into as per GAM5. Okay, uh, and why this is coming into category 4? Because this can be configured as per the industry requirement. You can make changes into the software, or the IT industry can make the changes inside the software as per the requirement of the laboratory. Okay, that's why it is coming under category 4. I suggest you, like you go with the all categories. Okay, you read all the categories and remember them. Okay, that is the main question whenever you will go for some interviews that are related to these LIMS and also other softwares. Okay, generally LIMS contains four different types of environment. Okay, the first environment is development environment. Okay, for example, one laboratory, one IT industry is developing the LIMS software. Okay, so this is development environment. Now how they are going to develop that particular software for the industry or the laboratory? By utilizing the user requirements. Okay, different codes will be generated, and that codes will be tested and configured. Okay, so this is how the development environment works. Then comes the static environment. Okay, static environment, here the creation of master data. What is master data? All the you can say the master data as a brain of that particular software. Okay, brain of the software. Relating to this particular master data, the particular software is going to give the results. Okay, for example, like different guidelines or the SOP or your specifications, that all will be recorded first as a brain with the LIM software. Okay, and by referring them, suppose one product is there and the test is required. Okay, analysis test is required, so that test will be created by following this master data only. Okay, and how this static environment is developed and how this static environment is created, that also I am going to explain into further lectures. Okay, after this comes the validation or quality environment. Okay, here whatever the software is developed by the IT industry, okay, and whatever static data is created by the laboratory, that all will be validated. Okay, it will be checked in the validation or quality environment. Okay, it will be checked, and then only, okay, here in validation environment there will be some module functionalities. Okay, like operational qualification. Okay, So based on the user requirements. Okay. So this is how it will be validated in the quality environment. Okay. And after this, after validation, there will be production environment. Production environment here, production environment means the day-to-day operation of the laboratory. Okay. If validation is okay, then only it will be shifted. That particular software will be handed over to the production environment. Okay. And there the user acceptance testing will be there. Okay. The end user will test different samples. Okay. Different testing procedures will be tested there, and if it is okay, then only the software will go live into that particular laboratory. Okay. Have you understood different environments? Yes. And here comes the different job roles. Okay. Different job roles that are available into the market. Okay. Related to LIMS software. Okay. So in which particular environment you are getting that job, or you are having that opportunity, you have to understand first. Okay, then only you can go with the details of that particular software. Okay. Some IT persons will have opportunity with development environment. Okay. Then pharma and the working person, end user persons, they will have some opportunity with static environment. Because why? Because they are going to create the master data inside that particular software. Okay. They have to fill up the database. Okay. So that is how the brain of that particular software is created. Then comes the validation or quality environment. Okay. Here it will be tested. Okay. Engineering team and the end user team, they are involved into validation or quality environment. Okay. And in production environment, here the end user, actual end user who is going to work on that particular software or the particular instrument equipment, he will be involved into production environment testing. Okay. Then the different modules that are available with LIMS. Okay. This I'm going to explain you in further lectures. Okay. So just have a look, like lot management, inventory management, instrument management, stability management, environment monitoring. Okay. Micro inventory management. So these are different modules that are available with the software. Okay. And this is how the end user works with the software. Okay. Now comes the master data. It plays a very important key role into deployment of the production environment, right? Because if the master data is not proper with the software, you cannot go for the production environment. Because in production environment, you are going to test the different analysis, the sample plan, item code according to the master data. That's why master data creation is very important. And how that is created, how actually it works, that also we will see into further lectures. Now the LIMS roles, different roles of the working persons with the software. See, the analyst, or we can say end user, then comes the supervisor, reviewer 1, 2, approver. Okay. Then the manager, supervisor, okay, the lab reviewer, okay, inventory manager, okay, system administrator. System administrator handles all the login credentials. Okay. Any requirement related to the credentials will be handled by the administrator. Okay. Now see how we are going to take the course. Okay. So see the flow chart, different flow charts involved into LIMS, then the user requirements, how to create master data, okay, for analysis, master data for products, master data for sample plan, item code, that we are going to see in detail. Then LIMS GXP assessment, okay, validation plan, okay, IQ, OQ, PQ, then master data, inventory, all the things we will see in detail. Then configuration testing into development environment, functional testing, okay, then user acceptance testing, crystal reports. Okay, this is also important. Crystal reports we will include there. Okay. Then comes the how to prepare the validation summary. Validation summary, then the environment monitoring module, how the workflow is, that also will be explained. Okay. Then the architecture. Okay. Then creation of master data inventory. Then lot management workflow. All the workflows will be included. Okay. then laboratory workflow, master data, instrument creation. Okay, then stability management will be there. Okay, and also some administration activities. Okay, for administration purpose, there is another course available, but here for this course purpose we have involved administration activities that are related to LIMS software. Okay, and that also will be involved into the course in detail. Okay, the computer system for laboratory is often called okay, this is very basic. Okay, and see, these are the different courses that are provided by a company connect consultancy. Okay, so I'm going to explain the LIMS end-to-end project learning. Okay, so if you want any other courses, for that also you can register. Okay, then how this is going to help you? Okay, so see, multi-dimensional opportunities are available. What are the different available opportunities? As I have said, with the different environments. See, in pharmaceutical industries, IT software industries, clinical trial, medical devices industry, consultant industries. Okay, so all in this type of industries, also many there. Okay, so there you can get some job opportunities if you have the knowledge. Why it becomes important? Because when you have some detailed knowledge about the software, okay, about the information management, there comes like suppose you are getting an opportunity for stability management. Okay, I'm giving just one example. That particular industry wants a candidate who has knowledge into stability management. So after completion of the course, you will have some idea about the stability management. So you can at least have some basic idea about that, even though you have not used. Okay, even though you have not worked there. Okay, because what happens in the industry, it's not possible to work with all the modules, right? Suppose you are working with sample management, it's not possible for that particular user to work with stability management, right? If you are appointed with the stability management, it's not possible for you to look into other modules. That's why here all the knowledge will be given, shared with you, and it will you can utilize that particular knowledge into your future. Okay, then we will see how career growth is there. See, this is example is given of CSV course, but it is related to all type of courses. Okay, when you have some knowledge about implementation role, okay, LIMS implementation, coordinator, like that, the roles are there, and there you can utilize this knowledge. Okay, and you can get hike also, and also some new opportunities into the industry. Okay, basically what people want, they want to shift from pharma or clinical industry to IT industry, and this is a big platform. LIMS is a big platform. There you can utilize your end user experience, and that can be utilized for the LIMS implementation project. Okay, and that's how it can help you to excel into your career. Okay, so some benefits by joining the course. See, there will be free membership for a lifetime to avail chat with our lecturers and members. Okay. Then interview based question and answer, free access will be provided to you. Okay. Then mock interview classes will be there. Placement assistant will be provided, but there are limitations. There are limitations because we don't know what type of opportunities will come in future. Okay, and accordingly also how you perform with that particular opportunity, that is also the challenge. So that's why there are limitation. Okay, two batches can be joined with same fees. Means what? Suppose you paid the fees and it's not possible for you to join the classes. So in such cases, you can join the next batch. Okay, you can join the next batch. A recording of class will be available. See, all the classes that we will go with is all the recordings will be provided. So you can have a revision there, or you can recall or create your own notes there. Okay, And also, if you want any help with your resume preparation related to LIMS software or related to LIMS work, that also will be provided here. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. Yes. Any questions here about the course,
Oh,
about the content, or about anything that in your mind? Yeah, please.
yes, I have one question here. Actually, whatever slides you shown here, so once we opt for a course, then you're showing it or doing the exercise into the real application, or it will be a screenshot based concept, clarification. How it is going to be happen?
Okay, okay. There will be screenshots of the software. Okay, there will be screenshots. Why? Because using that particular software for this purpose is not possible. Okay, for explaining purpose or the like the demo purpose or our class purpose, it is not possible. So that's why we have designed it. But I give you assurity that you will understand. You will understand, and there is very whenever you go with that particular things, you will find it easy. You will find it easy when I'm going to explain like how you are working with the stability module. Okay, so there you will understand that it's very easy. Their options are given. Okay, the buttons are given, they are provided, you just go with them and you do the whatever functionality is required. Okay, so and why it is included with screenshot, also it improves the speed of the class. So that is the requirement, that's why we have designed it like that.
Okay, and what is the fees for the entire course?
I request you all that you connect with ma'am. Okay. There they will provide you all the details, all the schedules, anything that is required to you, that will be provided there. Okay.
Sir, for the practice of
Yes.
all this software, we need to buy the software.
Can you repeat?
For practice all this LIMS system, so we need to buy the
Okay.
software.
No, 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 no. You see, buying the software is very costly. You cannot buy it for your practice purpose. That is not possible.
So how we can practice all these things? Is there any free version?
See, actually, practice, we are going to provide you all the recorded lectures. Okay. So, whenever you want to check, suppose you want to see something related to sample management. Okay. So, that time you can revise that particular lecture. You can see the details. Okay. You can go with the details. And suppose you in future you get an opportunity, interview opportunity with the stability management. Okay,
Okay.
so at that time you can go with the like the lecture, that is recorded lecture, which will be available with you. You go with that, you can see how the workflow is there, and that's how you can utilize it.
Okay, means just we have to remember all the classes what you taught,
Yes, yes,
but we can't practice. Even when we start working with some company or something, there we can implement all this according to the class.
yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome. Any more question? Yes. You just connect with ma'am and they will provide you all the required details, like how the schedules are there and how the fees and all the structure that will be provided to you all. Okay.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Sir, I want to ask regarding advanced course.
Okay.
So, if you want to join it, is there anything like subsequently you are going with that advanced course also after finishing this end user course, then only we have to enroll in that advance?
Uh, you are talking about administrative
Yep.
limbs.
Sorry, administrative leaves, right?
Uh, See, if what my suggestion is, if you have some knowledge about the laboratory, okay,
Okay.
if you have some knowledge about the laboratory, you can go directly to administrative, no issue.
Okay.
Okay, you can do both. Okay, if you want end user knowledge with all details, you can do this course. Okay, see what is your requirement, that is important. But for knowledge purpose, if you want for knowledge purpose, I will recommend like you go for both. Okay, you finish this course, and after that some gap you can go for the administrative course.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah, and what is your requirement, that is important, because what is your your background and how it is going to help you to excite in your career, according to that you have to plan. Okay, if administration is your going to be your future career, okay, definitely go for that course.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Any more questions? Okay, so let's stop here. Okay, you connect with ma'am, they will provide you all the details. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.